You're listening to GUFON Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
GUFON Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
GUFON Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
GUFON Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to GUFON Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Welcome to GUFON, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano, and it is Thursday. It's June 12th, 2025. It's weird. I almost said 2015. You ever do that? It's like you could have sworn it was 10 years off. Been doing that a lot lately. You know what that means? Yeah. You guys heard about the galaxy is not really like a disc. It's wavy. They say it's wavy now. Ooh, I like that. I kind of figured it was wavy. I didn't think it was just, a spinning galaxy and everything was on an even plane, even though it is. But they said it's kind of like flapping wings almost. It's weird. Wouldn't that be weird if galaxies were alive? Like the entire thing, all trillion everything, it's all part of a bigger, and then all of the other galaxies are all part of a thumbprint. What if we're just living on a thumbprint and we're in the moisture, And for some reason, this guy, or girl, or whatever, isn't moving around that much. I don't know, man. It's weird. That's just like, we're on a marble, Men in Black. It could be true, though. It could be. See, that's the evidence I want to see, which I think it's impossible. And then, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with Boohoo Lou, and I don't know. Lue Elizondo. I don't want to be in UFOs, he says. I don't even like it. I don't care. I never wanted to be a part of UFOs, he says. But the government asked me to use my skill sets of lying, cheating, stealing, making friends, breaking relationships in the UFO community. That's what I did. And I did it well. No, you didn't. We got you. We got you. Again. We know. We know. Lue isn't real. Everybody's been saying it. This guy talks in circles. He doesn't give details. Talk to me in a skiff, closed conversation without a recording. I got something from you-know-who, but I can't say where and who. A friend of mine, a guy I know, a message from, somebody said, I heard, he said, she said. And then he comes out. 1,000 feet. 1,000 feet. You mean it's a crop thing? Get out of here. Somebody's trolling me. Who's trolling me? Mitch, is that you? Is that Colonel Epstein? I don't know why I said Epstein. I don't know why I said Colonel. Right? It's like, this is the guy who they want to put up on the pedestal, pedaloo, right? Well, he should be on a pedaloo. Anywho, he gets up in the pedaloo, and everybody's like, oh, Eleganzo, oh, almighty sir of ufology, what do you have for us? No lips. He makes them as invisible as they could be. Well, do you like babies? Yeah, I'm just saying, I got this picture. Reminds me of a dead baby. I don't want to say it really out loud. This alien, might be a dead baby. But, all I'm saying is dead baby is in this picture. And to me, somebody said it was an alien dead baby. But, I don't know. A lot of people get mad at me about the dead baby picture of the alien dead baby. You know what I mean? Dead baby. What? Anjali's going to be joining us here in about 30 minutes. That's right. We do the shtick here first. I give you the news, the updates, and then she's going to come on and blow your hair back. She's mad, upset, fed up. That's a good word. And if she wants to say she's mad, well, she can do that. And then we're going to ask her what a woman is. Oh, I'm joking. It's not that type of show. Ever. All right? All right. You're like an hour late. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So stupid. Who's here tonight? We'll do a little bit of roll call. Yeah. Philip Swain. How you doing? I almost said Swan. I bet you get that a lot. No? Just me. Dorothy. How you doing, Dorothy? Hawkins. I'll close my eyes if Rich shows it live on air. Oh, no. I'm not gonna show it on the show. Only because there's no reason to. And second of all, I didn't prepare anything. I mean, we could look at the thumbnail. I'll pull up the thumbnail. I mean, I put something over most of it. But it's definitely, it's ugly. It definitely looks like, well, we'll go over it with Anjali, because I really am curious as to, especially her, because she's worked in the government. I want to know, what does she see with the Pentagon, with Lue, with the DOD, with skiffs, with why everything we see in whistleblowing is being done this way? She might have some answers, or at least a better idea of what I think this narrative comes from. Well, I mean, nobody really knows, right? And I always think it's Jay Stratton started this whole thing. Got everybody in the military believing these jag-off stories. And they grew into myth and legend within the community. And that's the stories you hear from the whistleblowers coming from him and others who, said they saw. You see something every day for 2 years. You're going to tell me you're not going to try to get your camera to take a picture of it? Like, you'll lose your job. I think there's a way. I don't buy it. I think they have pictures. FAP's here. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Good to see you, too. Sky Allen as well. There you are. Hey. Kelly Lewis, the EW, is here. How you doing, Eversor. Evers. What's up, Samo? How you doing? Good to see you. How you been? Flame on. Been there, done that, doing it. Chicken Coop Confidential. How be? How do? Good to see you. What's up, Thor Panku? Well, that worked out well, didn't it? Good to see you. All right. Jeanette. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Jeanette, the angel of GUFON, is here, everybody. You guys know that? And Rich Saves America. Hey, how you doing, Drill Politics? How you doing? Welcome to this show. Metalhead, how you doing? Good to see you too. Brooke is, huh? Nice. Space Cow, everybody's joining in the fun games. Yeah, all right. Truthertainment? Giddy on up. We got a good one tonight. Wait, what did I double press? Jeff Gavi, how you doing? Good to see you. Andy Cowley, how you doing? Dan Peters, giddy up. Everybody's here. Nice to see you guys. David Wilcox, not Wilcox. Don't start that shit. How you doing, man? Good to see you. I am the original Jimmy Choo Choo. Let's read this. Welcome to the show, Jimmy. We have feds. We have believers. We have agent provocateurs. An interesting cross-section of agendas. And you can all ride my train for free if you ever need one. You know why? That's fun. You know why? Because it's true. There's so many. You can pick this agenda, this narrative, this story, that whistleblower, and you're not going to be wrong in saying, I believe it. Because there is something that the government is definitely keeping under the wraps, whether it be alien back-engineered technology. I don't know. But it makes sense from all of the stories we've heard throughout the years. I mean, we're talking decades now. And these whistleblowers, whether you believe them or not, are a record of things being sworn into. Oh my God. See, this is what bothers me. You swear an oath to your government, right? That you'll I swear I'll follow the Constitution, I'll do whatever it takes, and that's a tyranny, and that's a Second Amendment, you're not going to violate rights, right? And then these guys want to whistleblow, blow the door open on a secret. I mean, to me, that sounds treasonous. I don't know why these people want to whistleblow without evidence. Now, that's why I don't buy into what's happening now. There's a big disinfo campaign being brought up here. And I'm curious to know what Anjali thinks too about Corbell and Knapp and others that have been called disinfo agents. I'm like, yeah, you think they would have more than one out there? I mean, Lue's doing a lot of damage right now, don't you think? There probably is several. several people out there just disinfo. That's why Jeremy Corbell, I'm telling you, 10 times, the only one video we can't debunk is the jellyfish. All the other 10 have been debunked as nothing, as mundane, as flares, as drones, whatever, mundane. That's like disinfo to me. They gave Corbell, military, evidence that at one time or another fooled the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Marines. It fooled them. They did a little more research, or they got fooled, and then as they flew closer to the object, or the object came to them, they saw what it was, and it was either a plane or it was a UFO, right? So you got all these stories out there, no evidence to bring up, and they want us to believe. And then we saw Elizondo a month and a half ago or so. The guy who's supposed to be, he ran ATIP for a day. And he even imagined OSAP. I don't know, some other, don't say OSAP though. He don't like that. Lou hates it when you say he worked at OSAP. No such thing. OSAP never existed. Anyway, ATIP, right? And this guy's supposed to be the guy who ran ATIP for a day, who can't tell what crops are or a dead baby. Hold on a second. It's bad. And then I want to ask you, thank you for the comment. I am the original Jimmy Choo Choo. Nobody's wrong. Everybody's right. Nobody has proof. That's where we're at in ufology. It's not going to change. And I know this hurts people who've never been here before, who may be thinking, maybe this guy believes in the bullshit. No, I don't. I don't believe in any of it, really. I know there's something happening. There is something we can't explain. Too many witnesses, too many abduction stories, too many. Actually, there is evidence that has been hidden, suppressed, and people have been unalived over it. So if it's not real, and it's our imagination, and it's just the government playing drug tricks with our brains in the middle of the night, then why all the hoopla and murder? Why? What do you got to ruin lives for, Lou? What are you trying to prove? Huh? Makes you wonder. Was Lou MIB? That question was asked to him. I think it was on Sold Out Radio when he was over there and he got angry for the first time. Remember that? Oh, that was great seeing Lou in his true form. And we'll talk more Lou in a little bit, but I can't stop. I know a lot of people are like, why are we always talking about Corbell? Why are we always talking about Knapp? Why are we always talking about this, that, these are the people that are writing the narrative and putting it out for the world to, no, they're not writing it. You know what I mean? They're pitching it out there. And then you got Ross Kuchart, whatever his name is, talking all sorts of talking like Lou. I know a guy who said there's a UFO that's so big you can't move it. So they just built it. Does that make sense to anybody that you would just build on top of what could be a toxic situation someday? You're just going to put a building on top of a UFO? Does that sound logical? I know where it is. I just can't say. Well, who's the guy? I can't tell you. Well, when did you find out about it? Last Thursday. Oh, God. You know, I really, though, I enjoy the mystery of the crop circle. And I want to show you something. I want you to think about this. Ah, my goodness, what did I do? I cricked my neck or something. So they say sacred geometry is the fingerprint of creation, a silent language spoken by stars, cells, and stone. And that was by Pythagoras said that. And it's true. It's true. I want to show you this, though. Crop circles have, since the early 80s, have always been a part of the UFO lore for 50 years now. Doug and Dave, the guys with the board and the rope, we all know that for whatever reason, two guys were responsible for all the crop circles around the world, they told us. Two old guys that looked like they were half in the bottle. And then a couple of years go by, maybe a few decades, and sound technology has created patterns that look just like crop circles. So are crop circles created by sound? Now, I know that's weird because in a true crop circle, they're interwoven, right? Right? They're not just laid down. They are not bruised. And what else? Come on. And the bulbous thing, the knuckle. What do they call that thing? I forget. But anyway, that thing blows up but doesn't explode. And you can see where all the energy goes by the nodes. Yeah, that's what they are. By how big the nodes exploded into or barely exploded. And when I mean explode, I should say expand. Expanding into a smaller size. The further away from the center of the crop circle, the smaller the expansion of the nodes, the knuckles. Some of them would explode. It's just water being heated up inside the crops of corn. And, right, isn't that corn or wheat? I don't know. I think it's corn. But check this out. I just love this. It reminds me of crop circles. And I'm wondering if whoever's making the crop circles, whether it's us, aliens, or whatever, are they using
These
sound?
cymatic plates show you sound and frequency.
I'm telling you, you're going to see crop circles all over. This is fascinating. We've talked about this, but it's been a few years. Amazing, right?
You will find these beautiful cymatic patterns represented everywhere. But not just in nature.
Oh?
In the buildings of the old world.
Say word.
The past understood the technology of sound, the benefits of it with healing, the frequency and vibrations all too well. That is why the cathedrals represent them so clearly. These temples and cathedrals were places of sound healing.
Yo, that's crazy. I didn't know this. Oh my God. Wow. Isn't life great?
This is no
Look at how beautiful. The secrets are the secrets. The pieces of the puzzle are scattered everywhere to what really runs this planet, I think. And if we could just figure it out. Figure it out. Did you know that, what is that, the Hadron Collider? CERN or whatever it is? Did you know they got molecules to go at 99? I saw this. Neil deGrasse Tyson talked about it on his short. They got the molecules to go 99.9999% the speed of light. And the closer that it got to light, the speed of light, time stops. Time slowed down. And if you hit the speed of light, time does stop. You can possibly go backwards if you go faster. That is so bizarre. Yeah, he also said something else, but but the thing is, if we went to Andromeda and then came back, he said it would be like 4 million years later. So we can go maybe from point A to point B, but because of distance, nobody will know. Isn't that weird? See, this is what I think's going on. I think this whole thing is a construct. It's a design, and it's made well. It's made so well that nobody in this galaxy can go anywhere. And maybe, I don't know for sure, but from what we can tell, space is pretty dangerous. There's all sorts of rocks flying all around. How are you going to go trillions and trillions and trillions of miles, and all of a sudden you run into a pebble? It's just passing by, and next thing you know, your spacecraft is ripped in half. So there's got to be some sort of shield that can protect the craft going that fast, unless they come up with a teleporter, transporter, whatever, teleporter, right? So I think, and where Earth is, all the way out on a little spiral arm, way out on the edge of the galaxy, we're far enough away that nobody else can get to us and destroy the planet. I think that's the way the entire system is set up. Like, everything's just chance. Everything's in a soup. That's what the galaxy is. It's a soup. And things get cooking, planets and all sorts of asteroids, all sorts of danger, all sorts of things, right? Everything's going on. But it's so far apart. They said that Andromeda is heading towards the Milky Way. And in the future, I don't know when, 180,000 years from now, I think, I don't know. They said all the stars, if they pass through the core, none of the stars would hit each other. There's that much distance in between them. I don't buy that, but that's what they say. That's pretty far apart. Anyway, wow, everything just got really loud. What happened? But I think it puts a safety net up. And your planet, however long the sun survives, we actually are on a planet that was perfect for us, and it created us, and possibly other things that have been here long before we can imagine, because of plate tectonics, the whole entire, like, the face of the earth gets wiped off. Everything gets, goes under. It's grind. This is done on purpose, because when or if a civilization figures out how to leave the planet, or, break new laws and can go from point A to point B in a blip, I think they destroy them. That's why there's been, 5 or 6 end of days scenarios. That's the way I think. I think we're put in a place where evolution and all that, it takes thousands and thousands of years. I get it. And it's possible we could be an experiment of other beings that don't need to live up on top here. Maybe they're underground. Maybe they're on the moon. Whatever. But maybe we're an experiment. I know everybody has talked and pondered about this, but doesn't it make sense? To me, it does. In about 10 minutes, Anjali is going to be here. Check this out, though. The rest.
from a people building these magnificent works
Look at
with
this.
just supposed hammer and chisel. Cymatic architecture was at the
Sounds like Marco
backbone of
Rubio.
all these old world structures, not just in the cathedrals, but the star forts as well. They understood how to tap into the natural frequency and vibrations and use them in so many benefits. They were one with this realm around us. To understand the true secrets of this realm, you must think in terms of frequency, energy, and vibrations. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Until next time. That sounds like he said, don't believe anything you hear. Let's pull this up real quick here. Hey. Oh, you got it. Have you? I don't know if you guys have ever seen these Bigfoot videos where they actually talk like people. Yeah, I got to play this though for a minute. It's so funny. Just a little humor in our day. You know these people.
Don't tell Yeti, but she said she likes silverbacks.
Yeti.
Rain.
Yeah, that's Yeti on the phone. She definitely told him I was just her cousin's friend, but I'm cooked. If Yeti sees this, I'm moving to Canada. See you guys later.
So they invited me to go skydiving today. Never done it before, but hey, how hard can it be? Just changing into my gear now, if it survives.
Okay, we're up here now. This felt like a better idea on the ground. Why is everyone so calm? I just learned how zippers work this morning.
I don't want to do it! I don't want to do it! This is insane!
Not bad. It's like hiking, just vertical and way faster. No squirrels up here either. Kind of missed the squirrels though.
Well, wasn't planning to move up here, but this tree's got potential. Good light, open concept, very squirrel acceptable.
Anyway, those guys are fun. Very, very fun. If you ever need a laugh. Yeah, that's the best of, it's Bigfoot and Yeti. I don't know. That's off of Victorio Films or something. I don't know if that's the guy. I think this guy stole that. Anyway, you guys know all that stuff. All right, let's pull this up here. All right. Something big is happening. Oh, I want to show you this, the ghost substance. Have you guys ever heard of this thing? This is so cool. I never ever saw this like in real time. Like they were actually handling it. Check this out. This is the coolest thing. It really is. Come on, get me in the middle. There we go.
Sample of Aerogel in this office.
Really?
Yes.
Aerogel. I have never touched a sample of Aerogel.
You've never touched
in my
Aerogel?
whole life.
Really?
Always wanted
This will be a first for Adam Savage.
Dude.
It'll be a first for everybody. What the hell is Aerogel?
Aerogel is the most ghost-like solid substance ever spun.
And it's like 99.9% air, right?
Yes. Higher than that.
Oh my
Okay.
Wow.
So here it is.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
I said it's like a ghost.
It does look like a ghost.
Okay.
You brought a Tesseract out.
Hang on.
No
way. Hang on. Way. Okay. Look at that.
Oh my. Okay, that is one of the coolest things I've
It is
ever
like
seen.
ghost.
It is.
It's actually solid. Right? It's not flexible.
Right.
It's very brittle.
It is science cotton candy.
Don't eat it, Chuck. Come here. Ready?
That's funny.
Wow.
That is Aerogel.
Look at that.
That's. Oh my God. I can feel that it's.
You can pick it up. I trust you. It's like a ghost.
Look at that.
It
so
might
wild.
be the lowest density solid stuff ever, and it's used for NASA. And the Aerogel is it has many applications. One of the ones that we care most about is you put that on a spacecraft, on a space probe, and as it flies through a comet's tail, particles of the comet enter the gel, and it slowly stops it so that it's intact by the time you bring it back and then analyze it. It also has highly insulating properties. It's like one of the most insulating things ever known. And the way they make it, they have some polymer chain that they spin up, and it's this solid thing, but then they evaporate all the liquid. And what's left are the molecules that flesh out the volume that the liquid once occupied. So I have a sample of aerogel.
Isn't that wild, guys? That is like the coolest thing. I mean, really is. Aerogel. Oh, what did I do? Aerogel. Yeah, I want to get some of that just to have it. So, like a conversation piece. And what is this? Jeremy Corbell. He says, I love how M. Von Ren cuts to the chase with the misinformation perpetrated by the DOD, Arrow, and the Wall Street Journal, highlighting their nonsensical attempt at UFO disinformation. Talk about painting yourself into a corner. Oh, baby. We're going to hear a lot more about this. That's right. And the Wall Street Journal article. How an amazing week or so, right? In ufology. So much negativity in 2025. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to blame it on the Trump administration for whatever reason because, all of this negativity is happening now. Well, it actually started a year ago. We saw the backlash already. People were fighting with each other already within the community. All the people who were for Lue were going against them now. And, I can't believe he lied about this, that. And, and then he's having dreams. And, him and other guys were meeting people terrorists in their dreams. And they were making them scared. And they would have nightmares. Stuff like that. They would do remote viewing and remote view into somebody's dream. What movie? Inception. Yeah, they were doing Inception at Lue's house one night. You guys want to fuck with a terrorist? I mean, we won't know what happened. But if we all hold hands in a circle and pull our pants down, what? What? You have to do it. That's how you get the rods. I don't want to play, Lue. Anyway, I heard a term circle jerk and I thought we would try it, so I don't know what it means. Poor boohoo. Poor Lue. Let's think about this. Is Lue being played and he doesn't know it? Is Lue being led? Is Lue going to be the patsy for all that goes wrong in ufology? Can we just say something right now before Anjali gets here? Lue covers himself, though, pretty well when he says, I have this evidence. I haven't researched it yet, but I wanted you guys to look at it first, right? As fast as possible. That's not what you're supposed to do in his position. Actually, we don't. You can do anything you want. There is no law. There is no proper way to bring this stuff to light, right? Right. There's no way. But I tell you what, Look Bad was saying you didn't research it. And then later on, within a few minutes, Lue, somebody already found it. It's a crap. It's a baby. A what? Like, how does he not know that's a baby? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Tell you why. Because either they're testing us, right? Seeing how stupid we are, seeing what we believe, or they're stupid, right? For trying to pull this over on us to see what they can get away with. That's kind of what it feels like lately. See, I think what's going on now, for the last 5 years or so, all that we've been seeing is a positive push towards disclosure, right? We've been getting the whistleblowers we've asked for. The only thing we haven't gotten is evidence. So stop asking for it. Maybe they'll bring it. It got to work that way, maybe. But pretty much everything we've asked for, it has been brought to light. Congressional hearings, meetings in a skiff, Lue's book. You got to prove to write that thing. Whatever. They brought videos out even though everybody debunked them or can't debunk it, or it looks too much like something we already know. Everything that we've been privy to has been off, just off, like a little weird, and then we debunk it and we're like, what? I don't understand why they would do all this. And that's called disinfo. Jeremy Corbell was given information and videos that looked like and fooled the military for a moment. So they give him that evidence because if it fooled the government, it'll fool the public. The public doesn't know anything. We're stupid. You don't need to show them the whole thing. Just show them this part, and there you go. People will figure it out. I don't think they'll figure it out. They figured it out. Yeah, they kind of did. Pretty smart. And that's the weird thing about it. How many times are we going to accept the evidence that, well, I think they've hit the wall. I think it's over now. I think that's it. I think it's over. So if Lue brings something else as evidence, and it's a hot air balloon, right? Just out of focus, but somebody cleaned it up with AI, and it's a hot air balloon. What do we do with Lue at that point? Right? Do we do nothing and just keep the devil we know rather than bring in the devil we don't know? That's a good way of thinking. Yeah, and Dorothy said it right. Thank you, Dorothy. Craig William, how you doing? Dorothy said the evidence of others, quote unquote, has been around literally for thousands of years, forever. Check out the good books of any religion and you'll find it. Ezekiel is the one that we always go to, right? A wheel inside a wheel. Why would they say that? I don't know. It's got to be a UFO. It doesn't make sense. And that's why I think all these civilizations go bye-bye. They figured out the technology somehow, some way to get off planet, to go to other planets, or to do something, or to make a super weapon. I don't know. But I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah. Thanks, Dorothy. I'm looking. Lue is over. Wait, why? Good to hear, Craig. Lue is over with the Deutschlander in Yorkshire. See how I said Yorkshire? Right? Corbell looks like he's been threatened. Yeah, when he looked in the mirror. Jesus! That's not nice. God forgive us. We had the Moomy Doomies. Right? Now, this is Jaime Maussan. Jaime Maussan. Jaime may be the biggest grifter in the entire ufological world. There's a reason behind these Moomy Doomies not coming to the United States or being checked by Americans. I need American archaeologists to You know, inspect this stuff. Check it out, though. Check it out. I think it's real. I don't know. Maybe call me crazy.
Different from a human. According to DNA studies, Maria has 33% human DNA, and the rest of the DNA does not correspond to any species on Earth, right? It is a completely different species. The characteristics of Maria are that she has a long head.
Slope towards the back, right?
She has no hair. The eyes are excessively large, right? The eye sockets are very large. She has a small face with a tiny nasal septum, has mandibular prognathism, that is, the mouth is protruding both the lower and upper jaw. Then we have that there is no hair. With three fingers. Those fingers are completely authentic. They have not been modified. They have not been altered. No. According to the X-ray and the tomography, they are completely bodies normal, natural. Maria is 1,750 years old. According to the X-ray, Maria would have approximately 32 vertebrae instead of 33. So there is a tremendous difference from humans.
Oh, that was weird. See what I mean? Now, we take this to America, and what do you think would happen? You think we'd see the same thing or a different analysis from a different perspective? Or is this not from the Moomy Doomy? Was this already from something else? See, that's how you fake this. You don't show us the Moomy Doomy. You show us the fake thing, and then you keep going back like this, right? That's what they do. You know, it come from the diatomaceous, sir. And, you know, then we do this. Look at the magic. And then diatomaceous earth. Oh, it sucks. I want it to be real so bad. So bad. That would be nice. Yeah. Oh, just waiting for Anjali. Yeah. I don't know. Planned on being here 10 minutes ago, so hope she's okay. Yeah. Don't know what to say. I didn't get a message either. All right, let's move here. This will be good. This will be good to watch. This will kill some time while we wait. The academic world is finally stepping up to investigate UFOs, they say. Yeah, this is from the Skywatch signal at UAP Watchers on X. George Knapp on UFO cover-ups. Hold on a second, Anjali. Hold on, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to play a video for you while we figure out why the link isn't really working. Hold on a second. What was I playing? Where did the video go? All right, here we go. Let's do this. I just accidentally X'd out of it because they make everything so small. All right, let's try this again. All right, guys. Just watch this third phase of moon for about 2 minutes, and I'll be back immediately. You'll see me go.
I don't believe it is. I'm kind of leaning towards
myself.
the phenomenon watching this again. Look at this thing as it charges up. It seems to have this plasmic energy around it, and it has this glow of intensity that's really, really cool. I like this. Look at that. What a good close up there. Yeah, these guys were filming it. This thing was pretty far, at some distance away. And this object seems to have flown right over this person's head, and he got a great vantage point. I'm going to roll this one more time. Wow, this is cool. I like the way it just disappeared, and I don't think it went behind the clouds at a certain point either. I'm believing that this is actually it's kind of going in and out of existence, because I don't see a craft. This seems like pure energy of light. And there it is, yeah, quite high up. Maybe about 2,000 feet, maybe more. It's hard to tell, but there it is, the original shot as we just rolled it. Pretty cool stuff. All right, like I said, if we got more videos that just came into third phase, and I'm just gonna put it on. Let's roll.
Dígame en estos momentos si no se paralizó el tiempo, las nubes, bueno, las nubes no, lo chulo, vea. Totalmente quietos. Vea. Y la luna ya salió. Vea. Pero es que es imposible, vea todos. Vean otros de allá, otro chulo. Están quietos, gonorrea, es que pillen. Vea, ahí pasó uno que sí voló, ¿sí pilló? Eso está muy raro.
All right, we have successfully figured out, but wow, look at this,
right.
huh?
What in the world is going on here?
I don't know, Brent Blake, but we'll have to get back to you guys later, Brent Blake. I don't know which one that was, but you just go B&B, bed and breakfast, Brent and Blake. Let me get zeroed in. Anjali's there. And I can't get this focused right. We got to get focused, folks. I want everybody to understand what's going to happen now is a guest is going to appear on the screen beside me. Not in the same room, but the technology works in such a way that the guest will appear on the screen at the same time, and we're going to have a conversation live. So we're going to give it a try for the first time ever in history. In 3, 2, and go. It's working. We transmission has worked.
Fantastic.
How are you?
Good. I don't know. Somehow the link was it seems like it was just broken.
That
and
was
so I thought
weird.
I was backstage maybe, or that you had to push a button. So I thought you were just kind of doing your thing. And
You know, I definitely hit the wrong link. So I appreciate you, waiting there, and
absolutely.
that sucks. But it was only a few minutes, so it's not like I couldn't kept it going. We figured it out. Everything's good.
Yeah.
And for those people who don't know Anjali, this is her. I had to make myself laugh for some reason. I don't know why that was funny. But you are an experiencer, someone who is a vibratorial expert, in my opinion, on spiritualistic and ethereal things, if I'm even saying that word right. But you also have lived an incredible life so far. You've lived like 3 different lives, I could say, that I know of, maybe even more. CIA, right?
DIA. Defense.
DIA?
Yeah.
You were what isn't that a DI? Isn't that the DEI thing?
No, Defense Intelligence Agency. It is.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's the Pentagon's personal intel. Yeah.
So it's not the CIA as I've always been told or heard or I'm imagined in my own head.
Nope.
But did you work for the FBI?
No, I did not work for the FBI.
Good. We're clearing up some things.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting that out of the way.
But I did date an FBI agent.
I knew that was it. It had to be that.
Seriously, that's probably how it got
Maybe.
mixed up.
Yeah,
So.
it just went through this brain. All right.
Yeah.
So, but you have had a lifetime of experiences. You know, tonight's not all about this, but
Right.
I'm just letting people know, you know, who'd never seen you or met you. You're on Gaia, right? You still doing that?
No.
Oh, I didn't think
haven't
so.
been doing. I haven't done that in years. I did it once in 2022.
That's it.
Yes, but I should say that we filmed several episodes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I could have sworn I've seen you on there. Like, it seems like a lot, or either that or they're advertising you a lot, or did.
They might be playing segments of some of the things I said and blending it with other segments that other guests have said. You know, I could see how that would be the case. So
let me ask you this, because I don't think we've ever even had a chat about this ever.
Okay.
To be honest, people, you know, we haven't really talked that much, texting and stuff. But
yeah,
if you were to pick your expertise in this field, what would it be?
Intuition and analysis. You know, I get.
Okay.
I think I know I was a very good analyst, excuse me.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, part intelligence that I was reading and part my gut, and some very good training that I received in Human Factors Analysis Center from basically the founder of the methodology, and the matrix and template that we use, which is different from the CIA's approach, but I can't get into how or what either of those approaches are. Just know that it was separately developed essentially to fill in the gaps.
Are you filling in the gaps with what you think, or is it factual?
Oh, no, I meant DIA's Human Factors Analysis Center fills in what the CIA's profiling doesn't.
Wow.
So we do,
God. Okay.
yeah, they do a different type of methodology and are looking at slightly different things.
How is that working behind you? That is such a cool little graphic you got going on there.
Cute.
That is a trip. I can't stop staring at. Well, wait, how is it working? I know it's got to be a lot of background.
I have a little spaceman, here, I'll show you. See
no
him?
way.
Yeah, he's just hanging out with me.
Wait, he's projecting that light?
Yes, he projects a lot of things. I just chose
tonight. That is the coolest.
The stars, and you know,
look at how it
go with music and change the colors. But I did this in honor of Regulus A, and you know, just a video that I saw today about what would happen with Regulus A. So
that is so cool. It looks wickedly like it's there. It looks like it's there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And the color matches the background here tonight with my bricks. It's
That's
amazing.
right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know it's really like it's almost like 3D too. It's
that's awesome. Good.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. It's giving that illusion. Yeah. All right. How much do one of those little astronauts cost?
It was a gift, so I couldn't tell you.
Probably a couple hundred. Does it
I don't
sing?
know.
Does it dance? Does it do any other?
No. Well, there are stars that I can put on. Most of the time I project it up on the ceiling, but today I put it on the wall just for this.
Okay.
And I can change the colors so that we have different nebulas there. And I can also set it to flash and distort with music, with the rhythm of a song. So yeah, but it's just hanging out with us tonight, giving us some
neat.
good vibes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And we need them because it's crazy right now. And that's why you're here tonight, because what's going on with Lue? What's going on with these disinfo people, we think, allegedly, but I don't know. I mean, you seem to have a pretty strong opinion about what's happened recently, especially since this, I'm not going to show it, but that picture. So whatever you want to start with is fine with me.
Okay. Well, I want to start by saying that I have been trying to understand the history of ufology because I came in pretty blind, and it was like a trial by fire.
I didn't know that. No, I mean that. I didn't know. I thought you had a history of being around, and that's why you came out, because you felt comfortable.
No, I didn't even start looking into the topic or into the community until after my experiences began in late 2017 and really culminated in 2018. And, all of my experiences since then. And I've been trying to understand. When I first came into the community, I wasn't actually in the community. I was looking more at consciousness and spirituality, and looking at for anyone who had had any kind of experience like mine that could help me understand what was happening to me. Because honestly, when it first started in 2017, I believed that I was the target of some kind of voice to skull technology. I had only been out of the intel field for a year. And so I understood the kinds of technological races that we were having with our, on the surface adversaries. Exactly. And
wait, so that's what you would hear, like actual words, voices?
No, but I thought it was like some kind of directed energy method,
right.
like voice to skull.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
That I could be being targeted.
Yep. That's good to know. Okay.
Yeah. So, but no, it was always like an interface over what was happening in the room. Sometimes it interacted with the room, meaning I would see like someone walk into my room and stand there, and nobody else could see it at that moment. But then we were having other instances in our home where other people in the home, and I don't want to get into it just for their privacy and their security, but they were having experiences as well, and seeing the beings, seeing what we thought were ghosts, hearing audible sounds. Okay, that comes back into the voice to skull. Okay, where myself and one of my contractor friends one night were sitting watching Showtime, and they said something on that triggered a response where we both heard an audible voice almost between us, like right there between us. And we were only sitting about 6 foot apart. And so let me tell you, that became the topic of conversation for the rest of the night. And it was all, do we have something spiritual happening here, or are we being targeted? Because we were both, intelligence agents.
Oh, yeah.
And he was still working a contract, and I was not at that point. And so we were quite suspicious of that.
But wouldn't that be an obvious thing for them to do to you guys?
Yeah, especially out in the desert where you can be miles away and you can target an individual pretty.
Hold on. I'm so sorry.
What's happening?
It was like the air pressure in here, just like an airplane. I couldn't hear for a second. Everything was like in a tunnel.
Mm,
Let me hold my nose and blow.
okay.
Oh my God, that hurt. Yep.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. No, it popped, and
Okay.
I'm good now. But oh my, well, it made me a little dizzy too. While you
Yeah.
were, I'm so sorry, but
No, it's okay.
that was really. I still feel it in my right ear. Yeah, when I
Okay.
just swallowed, now it went away.
All right.
That's
Good.
never happened that bad before. I've had this happen, of course, but usually it's when you change your body's pressure by standing up or sitting down. I've been in the same position. So
Mhm.
why would I have that happen as I'm talking to you and we're talking about skull technology?
I
This is
don't know.
not fun.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm so sorry. I had
It's
to,
okay.
I couldn't concentrate for a minute. It was
Yeah.
so weird. Okay, got it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what I was saying, but anyway, my point is that I know that there's technology out there that is specific enough that it can target one individual from miles away. Okay. From 80,000 feet in the air, they can detect where everyone is in a home, every living being in a home. So we have technology that is being kept from public eye, and they may not, all of that technology that is being used may not be from USG, meaning it could be foreign intel. It could be our allies. It could be an independent company that works DoD contracts or gets DoD contracts that privately is developing and testing their weapons. And we know that the United States has a rich history of using their own citizens in particular areas to test out their new weapons, to test weaponization. So it was never off the table, and it's still not off the table for me. Although I think that for my own personal experiences, it has, I would say that the joke may be on whoever would be using that technology, because it seems like it has unlocked something in my brain. And when I was told that we were essentially entangled, that we would always be connected from that point on, that has been my experience. And, I do have a psychiatrist because, I have suffered from PTSD, and I have a major depressive disorder, and I have really high anxiety. And so I have been very honest about my experiences. And they've said that I neither come across as delusional nor as someone who's prone to hallucinations. And they have also stated that they have heard other stories similar to that from other active duty and veteran military service people in the United States, and that the Veterans Administration does not know what to think of it, but that it's coming from pretty sane people who are having unexplainable experiences, and that that makes me highly suspicious.
It's worldwide.
It is, absolutely. And it's been, like Dorothy said earlier, Miss Dorothy said, it's been going on for thousands of years, probably all the way back to some antiquity that we can't even measure, from hundreds of thousands of years ago. So we have to be open to that as well. Yeah.
It's so frustrating, though, because it seems like we get closer and closer, and then we're done. And it's like we don't move for a while. And I don't know if it's because, people just don't want to anymore, or they thought of everything they could think of. But it's really weird right now. There's a lot of good, a lot of bad. There's it's a lot of backstabbing, and it just seems like and when I first got in this field in 2004, it was forbidden to talk about politics and ufology. People hated when I did that. And I'm like, but it is.
You mean like
and
party
it is.
politics? Like getting into the parties?
Politics of ufology, yeah. People hated it. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually, did shows about why don't people like talking politics? That's what it is. But it's turned that. It's now a political thing.
Well, I think it's not. I think I don't think it's political. I think that it is across both parties. Maybe not the smaller parties, our Green Party, our Libertarian Party, our Constitutional Party, the ones that we rarely ever hear. But I think it's an establishment that is in control of running, these operations, and most likely in hand with some of our allies, and even maybe some of those that we have been led to believe are our Axis adversaries. Things don't seem to add up to me when I look at what we would call the United Nations and the way that they make decisions, and then how government actually operates worldwide. Seems to me that we have a disconnect, and perhaps that we are all seeing more theater than we are truth every single day across both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Which tells me that it's not a party establishment that's doing it, that it is something deeper, and that's what we often call the deep state.
Yeah, because for some reason, the left is about 85% of ufology on TV. I mean, everybody.
That's weird.
There's I don't know any of them who are Trump supporters. From, Giorgio Tsoukalos, even Elizondo. I mean, all those guys, they didn't like him. It's the other side. That's why I always say that side of ufology. Because that's what I mean when I say that. It's just...
Sure. Well, the thing is that loose cannons are difficult to control. And that I am not trying in any way to make a plug for Donald Trump. I refuse to talk about it. Refuse. But I will say that he initially has come across as being unable to be controlled. We know that he makes decisions with classified material that previous presidents would never have made. So he's a danger to the establishment in that way. Is he going to drain the swamp? No. The swamp is too deep. There is no draining it. And I think that now he's kind of seeing that he's not going to be able to accomplish all of the things that he said.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see him move back and kind of back away from a lot of those things, just like we did with President Obama. We saw him come out really meaning it. And then once he got into the White House, we saw hands are tied. All of a sudden, he's backtracking. We saw him age, like,
oh my gosh, yeah,
so quickly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's my position on the political side. I think that it's just all a ruse to keep us divided, to keep us fighting, and
you mean ufology?
Absolutely. Well, in general and in ufology.
In general,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. As the American people, because we are a country that was established by revolution. We've had civil war before. There's been a lot of talk of revolution and pending civil war. We know of some of our adversaries who have infiltrated our social media and our country. They're here in troves, and they are feeding that divisiveness. And that's because we are very powerful when we come together to accomplish something. And so I believe that politics is meant to be a distraction and to keep us basically with a low vibration, hating one another's, thinking about, how we can't trust our neighbors. And, Danny down the street, he's just a libtard. And that guy over there, well, he's a Trump tard. It gets us nowhere at all. So it's definitely an operation against the American people.
Man, I hear what you're saying. I mean, it makes sense. And then, you talk to some people and they're like, no way would the government do that. They're just protecting. That's my dad. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's living with his head in the sand.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to see it.
It's sad.
But I see it. And I see it in ufology, very, very pronounced in ufology.
Somebody wants me to ask you, and thank you, David Wilcox, not Wilcox, for the $20 on PayPal for the support. Appreciate that. Can you ask Anjali if that's her real name? Because the meaning of the name kind of fits, or not, he says.
Oh, thank you. Well, what's funny is that my mother thought that she made up my legal name, which is Angelia, Angelia. She thought that she made it up. She did not. It's actually the spelling of Anglicanized spelling of the original ancient Greek, Angelia. So it's just another name or another way to pronounce it. And Angelia, incidentally, hails from Anjali, which is, or Anjali. I have no preference. My understanding is the original pronunciation is Anjali, and that's ancient Sanskrit. So, and they pretty much mean the same thing,
God, that is so beautiful. You know what I'm named after? Can you take a guess? Think about the year I was born. 68.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Richard Nixon.
Yuck! I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Richie just.
Do you want to hear how racist my family is, though? I'm going to say this because it's funny.
Okay.
They thought that if they told me they named me after the black janitor, that I would be sad and cry. And my response was, why is that funny? That was me at 5 years old. Like, I didn't know racism, but they were all like, you were named after the black janitor at the hospital because they couldn't figure out a name and he walked in. And I'm like, okay.
That sounds extremely narcissistic.
Isn't that horrible?
It is absolutely horrible to say to your child. Absolutely. Because honestly, let's just talk about janitors for a moment. What happens when they stop picking up the trash and cleaning the buildings? What happens? Everything falls apart. Like entropy speeds up. If it weren't for the people who are keeping our own filth away from us, we would just live in it like animals.
I know. Yeah, I know.
So,
we see it in California.
Actually.
Isn't that horrible?
Yeah.
Well, I warned everybody. I'm like, hey, here's something racist. So,
yeah.
But yeah, they tried that all the way up till I was like 13, and I'm like, you're terrible people. That's that. And then talk about attitude and what do we do with these people though? Like Lue Elizondo that got you so fired up. What do we do? Nobody's held accountable for their mistakes. And why is he making these mistakes?
Well, what would accountability look like to you, Rich?
See,
I hear that a lot.
I'll tell you what it looks like.
Aren't held accountable. Let's talk about what that looks like.
It looks like this. It looks like you guys are right. I should have done a better job. I didn't do my job correctly. And
I made mistakes.
I made a mistake. Thank you. Yeah. Never happen again. How many times have I said that?
Or I'll do the best I can to not let it happen again.
Yeah, exactly. And he could say, this is still new to me. I've only been here since 8 years ago, but in this position, now I'm able to bring you guys stuff whenever I want. And I should vet it better. I should research better. But I was excited. I thought we had something. I wanted to get it out. I get that. I get Third Phase of Moon does it. They get shit for it. But we need those people out there. We need them to bring that out quickly. But the
Yeah.
only reason you do it is to be the first, to get the most views, and to get people to say you're the best. It's the only reason.
Yeah. So do you have that clip, that famous clip that
Which one?
the Elizondo?
Oh, I don't want to be a UFO guy. Never
Yeah.
wanted to be.
Yeah, can you play that?
I don't know if let me see if it's in my bookmarks. I never, I accidentally deleted it off my thing, and I don't know if I saved it. Let me check.
This would be a great time for anyone who's new in the audience to hear it and
I'll tell you
understand.
what, I bet you it's on YouTube now somewhere. So let me just type it in. Lue Elizondo. It pops up as Eleganzo on my thing because I spelled it.
You are such a character.
Lue Elizondo never wanted to be a UFO guy.
Yeah, that's the one.
Did not initially pursue a career as you. Okay, let me go to videos. And Lue Elizondo is a former standard guy, but we have proof. There's a Lue Elizondo is going to cover up and no, come on.
I'm a
I don't know where.
counterintelligence guy. Counterinsurgency.
Right. I
can't believe you don't have that, like, primed right now, man.
I didn't think about it because
Yeah, I didn't either until I said it.
I haven't had it for 6 months. I can't believe it. I don't know where it went. Like, why wouldn't it just show up? It should. It should be right there. I typed it in. Never wanted to be a UFO guy. What else did he say? I
was a counterintelligence, counterespionage, counterterrorism guy, or counterinsurgency guy.
Oh yeah, that's
who
right.
was asked to apply my particular skill set to the UFO community or to
Wow,
ufology.
very good. That was amazing.
Right? It was
Yeah.
something like that.
I'm still looking for it. Oh my god! How would I look it up though? Because I really want people to hear that.
Yeah, it's really good right from the horse's mouth.
I know. That's one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be a UFO. I thought that would be the easy thing. Lue Elizondo. I'm a counterintelligence guy. Damn it. If anybody can find
Look in
that.
the chat and see. Maybe somebody's telling you.
You read my mind right at the same time I was saying. Anybody in chat? If you guys can find it. But why are you so mad while I'm still looking? I think I'll find it. But why? What do you care? I mean...
Well, I care a lot. I mean,
you care what Lue does.
Well, because I consider myself a true patriot. I love my country.
Nice.
I love my nation. I love our Constitution. I love our citizens. I love our guests. I love our immigrants. And when I see something that is really unjust that's being done, what rises in me is a need to establish justice, to balance it back out, and overcome the straight fuckery, pardon my French, that I've been noticing. So the line was already being drawn for me, and I was having a lot of questions, and but when I saw the photo of the child, that was too much for me. It was clearly as soon. Now I will admit, okay, that that it struck me in a way that triggered me as a mother. I lost a child in utero and delivered it in a bathroom of all places in a mall. And I was hemorrhaging on the floor when someone came in and found me. And I don't really remember much of that, but I was holding the fetus, and the eyes looked just like the eyes and in those photographs, and I lost it. It was like it was very obvious to me that we were looking at a tragedy in a family's life, the loss of hopes and dreams, and just beautiful dreams for the future. I can't imagine the agony that the parents went through. We have no idea if the mother had to deliver the child. It looks to me like she delivered the child.
Yeah, it does.
And we know through a line of sources now that the original photos were presented in an online auction in 1993, and they were selling for $500 each. And the original photos showed the mother sitting on a couch, wearing hospital gloves, holding her.
Oh my God! No wonder why.
Yeah.
What is he doing with this?
Well, Heatherly sent it to him, apparently.
Oh yeah, that's right.
By his own admission.
Right.
Saying that, hey, I would have liked to look at these. What do you think? They were sold as being hybrid babies.
Okay.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah.
Got it on the screen, I think. The 6 photos I'm sharing are of what was. I'm not going to show them. People can see them down there on the bottom, just not showing. But from an online auction a year ago for 3 photo albums, they sold for $500 each to the same anonymous purchaser. I wonder who that was. I screen captured, Rob Heatherly says, all the images, including of the action listings themselves for future reference. What does that mean? Of the people making the
listings,
bids?
I think he meant. Mm-hmm. Like, the things that were being auctioned. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And there were many photos of alleged UFOs and these of some sort of infant. I'm the one who shared them with a few people, including Lou. Obviously, they are controversial, which is why I never published open source previously. No conclusions were ever drawn regarding the nature of them. Lou never commented on them when I sent them, other than that they were interesting enough to share discreetly, but no way to determine conclusively what they are of.
BS. I call BS. Okay. That means that there was absolutely no attempt to identify what this is.
That's right.
They could have taken it to any doctor, and the doctor would say, well, I can't be sure what this is or what this child has, but I suggest that you talk to an obstetrician. That's it. That's all that had to be done.
Yeah.
And then one obstetrician could look at it and say, oh yeah, it looks like I see this, and this going on in this preterm non-viable fetus.
That's just wild.
So there was none from 1993 until today.
Yeah.
There's been no one who has. I hadn't seen them until I saw them on X yesterday. It was yesterday, right? It has it been? See, it feels like it's been days. That is the kind of
it feels like 2 days, 3 days.
Emotional and spiritual burden I have been carrying with me since I saw those photos. It feels to me like it's been days that this has been hanging over my head. And what infuriates me is that we have a man who is still employed with the Department of Defense on a U.S. Space Force defense contract as a contractor.
Oh yeah.
Who is a career counterintelligence officer who did absolutely no vetting and just started passing these around like he's passing out lollipops. And he's not doing it publicly. He takes it from Heatherly, doesn't really say anything except interesting, maybe these can be shared in closed circles. No attempt on his part to ask one single doctor what these could be.
So why do you think he would play so haphazardly with it when he knows what's going to happen?
Maybe he's the fall guy to make us all look like idiots.
To make
Yes.
himself look like an idiot, not
Well,
us.
well,
Why am I wrong?
I disagree. I think that
Okay.
it makes a fool of ufology, and that's what I mean. It makes a fool of ufology.
10-4 on that. Yeah, for sure.
And the idea that a pilot handed him that irrigation circle,
Yeah.
and then he presented that to members of Congress during their forum.
In a skiff?
No, it wasn't a skiff. It was done openly. It was right before he went to the podium. This is what he claims, that right before he went to the podium, that a pilot handed it to him, or a pilot passed it to someone who passed it to him. Doesn't matter. The chain was so small, the links so close together, that number one, there isn't a pilot on Earth that would see that and not understand immediately what it is. No doubt in my mind.
Oh, of course. You know how many times they flew over that?
Absolutely. Anybody who's ever been in an airplane would understand. Okay. Anybody who looks at that immediately understands that it's an irrigation circle. And so that's where my questions deepened as to, okay, was Elizondo set up in that moment by being handed something that he hadn't had any opportunity to look at, and that he was told to present? So who would that command come from?
Right.
He's not the head of the snake here, or the Leviathan. I like to call it a Leviathan, simply because, from a biblical presentation, the Leviathan's job was to create chaos and disorder. And it lived in the depths of the sea where everything was hidden, where it could hide. So I consider what we're seeing, this counterintelligence operation against ufology, as being Leviathan-like. And that means that it has many arms that are working simultaneously. So we can't pin it on one particular person. I just would like for Lue to come forward and tell us who handed them that and commanded him to do it. But I don't think we'll ever get that.
No, there's no way. No way.
Because I think he's working it intentionally. You can't whistleblow on on classified intelligence and classified programs and SAPs, and then turn around and get a contract with your security clearance and complete tact and work for Space Force. I'm sorry, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm talking.
No, I'm glad you are, because I'm still looking for the video and listening. It's so frustrating that I can't find it. But you're right. Everything you're saying feels like, you're in the right wheelhouse about how it's going down.
Yeah. I feel
want
like
to know
I'm
who
going
it
down
is
the right
too.
river. Yeah, me too.
I think the original narrative was a Jay Stratton production. I think he had a lot to do with the stuff that these guys know.
No, the original, we'd have to go back to probably about 1944.
Okay, I don't mean that far original. I mean recent years. From
it's
2017.
It's a legacy operation.
I guess it is. Yeah, I guess it hand me down.
We can't blame these people. They're doing their job, and unfortunately,
we can blame them.
I mean, we can say that it's an immoral position to take. We can say it's unethical and that it's unconstitutional to do this to your own people, to have an operation against the United States. There's nothing that's in the national interest to convince us that we're seeing craft from someplace else. I believe that it goes all the way back to Operation Paperclip. And when we brought over all of those Nazi scientists, because they were very highly trained, highly intelligent, and technologically advanced. And the very first UFO that was ever produced was produced by Germany, that their very first attempt at making a weapon of war that would be unidentifiable to the public. And we brought those propagandists and we brought those physicists over and we brought those engineers here and we put them at the head of institutions, of some of our biggest institutions in the United States, including NASA. And we brought over, trained propagandists who I believe have, ever since then, what they've been covering up is that they have been running the same kind of misinformation operations on the American people since 1944, using these Nazi scientists and military personnel, and that's the state that we're actually under a fascist operation right now. That's what I truly believe. Not to say that there isn't a spiritual element and that we aren't dealing with densities and dimensions, because public science is now catching up to that, and to quantum entanglement and what in our cells actually acts like antenna and communicates. They are public institutions are coming forward with that now. So that means that it's been known to our country for the last 80 years. And that's just how far behind we are in development. And I think a lot of the things that we see in the sky are U.S. and I mean U.S. corporations, members of the military-industrial complex that may be the absolute hidden hand that we're talking about, because most of that, the special access programs and the exotic developed materials would be in privatization hands, okay, or in private hands instead of in the government hands. So that's where the legacy is carried on. It's not carried on by Congress. It's not carried on by members of the White House. It's much deeper than that, and it's outside of our intelligence compartments into these military industrial complex compartments where they are in control of that information and that technology.
I understand misinformation, disinformation. So why are you so strongly on the disinfo wagon right now? And I'm not saying you're ever going to jump off of it, but you have a good reason to be there. Like, I think so too. What is going on? Why now? I don't get why now. What is it? Just because it's time and that's just the way it's always been? After 6 years, they do something else and kill the messenger and everything that happened before.
I honestly,
you don't know. Yeah, you just got here.
I'm trying to figure it out.
I know.
I'm
sorry.
And I wish that I had those answers. I know that I'm going to spend the rest of my life seeking those answers.
Maybe I could word it differently. Maybe I messed up. Okay, so why do you think they would do this now? Give Lue these two things within 6 weeks of each other or whatever it was. Give us that terrible information. It's really weird to sabotage him at this point. Do you think they're just letting him go, maybe? Is this what they do?
Well, I originally thought that perhaps the irrigation circle was a mistake and that he was being set up. Okay. I think it's just part of the operation. It keeps us guessing, doesn't it? Oh, Lue, what is he doing? Oh, poor Lue. Poor Lue. Give me a break. No way. There's no poor Lue. Poor Lue is very skilled.
Yeah, he is very skilled, but what if he's, like you said earlier, being told do this? Because that's all he does. He's an order taker. So, follows orders.
That's a grunt.
Maybe that's what he's doing.
Well, if he's grunting for the Mick, shame on him. We know
for the Mick.
Yeah. If he's grunting for the Mick, then, shame on him, because he's betraying his country, he's betraying his constitution, and he's feeding right into what I think is a fascist network that's been running our country ever since World War II.
Do you think whistleblowing is treasonous? You are telling secrets you shouldn't.
I think that it would be best for whistleblowers to go directly to members of Congress with their information. I don't know. I don't know if they go directly before they come forward with it.
I think they are. I think they do.
I don't know about that, because from my understanding, a whole lot of these people are still working on government contracts, or still employed with the government, and they have clearances. No, see, if they broke a secret that was that massive, that clearance would be pulled immediately.
No, like
immediately. You will be released. Nice knowing you. If they're lucky, they'll get medically retired.
But Matt Brown, this guy quit. I mean, he's done. He retired, right? Immaculate Conception. Is that what this guy is? Whatever.
Yeah.
What is he now? What is he called? He shouldn't. I don't think these guys should be doing it. Quite frankly, I want to know the truth too. But why do they feel like they have to do this without any repercussions? Like, they think they're just going to get away because they went to, what is that thing? Dopser? And they got approval?
No.
Is that why?
Well, that means that there's nothing that they're telling us that's classified.
I know. That's what I've been saying for all these years. Like, we're going to get the same stories from whistleblowers who have nothing new to tell us. And it's like a waste of time. I get it. Put it on record. It's cool. Yeah, it makes it official. I got it.
Yeah, I think it's just really, it's a distraction from something else that may be happening. And that's what we really need to figure out. They want us to look up all the time. Look up, look up, look up. So what do I think we should do? I think we should be looking down. I think we should be finding out what's going on down below us instead of above us. And so that's where my focus has taken me.
How do you look down, though? That's tough. Right? I mean, we're talking digging and stuff and LiDAR, right?
Yes, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is, what is USG and other countries, what are the leaders of the world doing underground? What are they doing right now? Well, I think they're preparing for a catastrophe that they're not going to tell most of the citizens of the world, because it's just impossible, and then they become the next advanced civilization that has broken away. And then thousands of years later, along we come, and we discover the internet again, and we loop it, and here we are again. And maybe now we have 2, 3, 4 breakaway civilizations.
None of that's happened yet, though. Yeah, it's weird. Darn it. I was going to say something, too, and I forgot. It was really good. It couldn't have been good if you forgot it. I hate when people say that.
True.
I know. No. No, I forgot. It's gone now. It'll come back, I think. Oh, yeah, it did.
Good.
So, good. We got maybe 10, 15 minutes left. The next 2 years are going to be interesting, because they're talking about 2027, right?
Right.
You have any inside information, anything? Or is that the end of days scenario under the guise of a UFO coming this way?
Honestly, I thought I knew, and now I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going to happen in 2027.
What did you think?
I thought that it was going to be like a solar storm, or our sun having some type of CME or flare that is strong enough that when it hits us, because it's just been diminishing our geomagnetic field that we just get fried, you know.
Isn't the
the crust
magnetic
unlocks and things move, and we have, you know, 1,000-foot tsunamis and flooding inland all the way, you know, up to the Black Hills of South Dakota.
We've had it good.
We have.
It's been
But
quiet.
it hasn't been very long, you know?
I
It's
know.
like
What? 60, 80 years?
Yeah. So, I don't know, but I think that we should keep our eyes and our ears open and keep our minds open to what that means. You know, I did not know when I first came forward with 2027, after I had been talking with some gentlemen who were in intelligence at the time actively. I didn't know that 2027 had ever been mentioned by anyone, but apparently, like, the last time that it had been mentioned had been back in the 70s. But I didn't know that. And I was having very strong communication that about the tech in the skies and about this event that was coming that was going to basically wipe the surface of the Earth, not destroy the planet. The planet will be fine.
Sure.
You know, it's just that we won't be fine.
It's a reset. Another reset. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think you and I will be okay, but I don't know. In a couple of years, anything can happen in this world. It's just really unstable. In my opinion, it feels unstable anyway.
The last 5 years have been an absolute wreck, and now we're literally in World War III, and our news networks will not acknowledge that. Our media will not acknowledge that. They don't want Americans thinking about that. They just want us to keep buying, consuming more, listening to their narrative, watching our entertainment on TV, going to the movies, buying the latest car, got to get that new dress. You know, that's what they want. Just feed the system. Feed the system. So
it's terrible, but
that's
what else can they do? You know, how do you keep us tame? Look at what they're doing already.
Yeah, it's treasonous. It's treason. Yeah, they should all be in prison. If we could only figure out exactly who's pulling the strings. And that would take a real whistleblower, a real one.
Even then, I would be like, yeah, I'm not so sure. That sounds too good to be true. Do you think you have any idea who you might think it might be? I don't know.
I do.
No way.
But I don't think it's like a person. And I'd rather, it's an area that I'm still looking into. And rather than say something really irresponsible, I've learned a lot being in this community. I really have. And I want to take the time to explore it before I say something that is so sensational that, you know, it just kind of blows everything up.
Glenn Collins says, Anjali, all this shit that's happening is all done by man and their own technology trying to scare the pants off everybody in the world and do what we are told.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I've been saying. I even question the craft that was over my house when I was 4 years old that everyone in my neighborhood saw. My father worked on a nuclear submarine. He was a nuclear submariner, and my mother was a military wife. I was a military child. You know, I have a lot of questions about that craft and what happened to me and a lot of my experiences. Like, I don't know if because I understand frequency-based communication and how everything vibrates with a specific tone, and we can see it, we can feel it, we can be, I would say, manipulated by it. And if we have developed that technology, I just don't know what to say. I believe experiencers, even myself, I believe that, you know, the communication that I received came from somewhere, and where that is, like I said, I'm going to be spending the rest of my life trying to figure it out. So,
me too.
Yeah, right? I think it's a worthy cause.
It is.
Because I think that we are detecting a deception that's so deplorable that it must be unmasked. It must be unveiled.
How?
I don't know. Maybe this is the first step. I don't know. These kinds of conversations over and over, and working together more as a community, rather than letting all of divisiveness and cult of personality split us into all these tiny little factions that are always nipping at each other and fighting each other, and not getting down to the kind of research and conversations and analysis that we should be having as a community. Skeptics, abductees, experiencers, contactees, physicists, you name it. We should all be working together to get to the bottom of this.
And definitely. And I want to also thank Jeff Garvey for $5 super chat, Dorothy with $2 and a question. Thanks you guys for the supers. Yeah, if you want to help support the cause, you know what to do. Anjali, Dorothy asks, she has a similar military background as yours. How much do you think military and their families are involuntary volunteers for weird experiences throughout life? I love that question.
Right? I do too. I see a thread of possibility that is, pretty strong, that our military parents were perhaps even, how do I say this? Not necessarily signing over their right to be experimented on, but that it may have been more of the fine print that they didn't realize that they had agreed to. So I think that the children are clearly involuntary experiencers.
Are you? Is that factual, what you just said? That it could be in small print? Or is that something it's like you may be in small print?
No, I'm saying that it very well could be.
It could be, but we don't know for sure if it says, and your family may also be involved in any.
Yeah. I mean, but just the fact that we have specific programs that military children were recruited into, specific experiences, contact, seeing craft, seeing beings, having communication, having missing time. I believe that there are some highly compartmented programs going on that are aimed at the American people, and it's still ongoing. And it may be ramping up because perhaps there is a new weapon system that they want to deploy that can only be used if we. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Okay. It does to me.
Okay.
Nah. Yeah. Hey, some people, Jeff says Rich and Anjali are a good mix. Thanks.
Hey, thank you. I think so too.
Dan
What's
Peters.
Next for you?
Huh?
What's next for you, Rich? You're like, where are you going to go with this topic?
Ufology?
Yeah.
Oh, I have so many irons in the fires, but they've been smoldering because, health has been on the shim sham. But
yeah,
on those good days, though, trying to create my documentary, and
excellent.
I want to do a storyboard first, and then this way I have everything done the way I want it to be done and not forget. I have so much to do, and that's the project I'm starting. And other than that, Constitution's taking a beating, so I'm starting to do that again, go back out. It's been 5 weeks since I've done an audit, so we're going to start doing those again. And I've got somebody we're going to do it together, so it's going to be really interesting what's going on over there at RSA. Rich Saves America. Check it out.
Yeah,
but
good.
You are going to be can we talk about what's coming up in the future or not yet?
Yes, we can talk about it. Yes.
So you want to start your own podcast, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I am finally where I feel like I'm healthy enough that I can maintain it. I was supposed to premiere in 2023. And that year I was diagnosed with cancer, a very aggressive type of cancer that I had to have several surgeries that year and start a new kind of treatment. And I was, I was going for 6 weeks at a time for the treatment. And then I would only have a few months in between. And in that it would take me like six to 10 weeks to even feel better. And then I would have just a couple of weeks, and then I would have to start the cycle all over again. Well, now we're at a point, which this is wonderful for me, that the treatment has been working very well. And so now I can wait 6 months before I have to go in and have, more surgical operations and have more installments of the treatment. And so it gives me more time, and I feel like I can, that I can come through. And false starts really suck. I did not expect to be diagnosed with cancer. I didn't expect to move. Lots of things I could not have foreseen. And so now I'm just in a better place, and I'm, feeling much healthier, and I feel like I have the stamina that I can commit to it so that I don't let the community down when I start rolling out episodes.
You look healthy. You
Thank
look
you.
really good. And it's a big difference.
Yeah, right? It really is.
Yeah, it is.
I
You
feel
don't
it.
realize it.
That's right. I mean, there were some times, I'll be honest, you guys, there were some times where I would only like shower once a week because I had to sit down on a shower chair to bathe. And I would have to sit there for so long before I could get myself dressed because I was so
the flu. You're with the flu, right? Basically the worst flu you can imagine. Right?
Yeah, the fatigue was so over the top, and I was passing out, and all of this was happening behind the scenes, and I wasn't, going out on social media and declaring all of that, but it was a real struggle for me. And after the disappointment of not being able to go through with the expedition, but with the success of having gone back to the property with potential buyers at that point, just to verify whether or not there was a tunnel on the property. I was able to verify that when I went back that day, there was not. And it took me like 3 years to be able to do that. And so, and immediately I let the public know that, hey, there wasn't anything there. And I'm willing to talk about that at any other time. But just what I'm trying to say is I didn't want to let down the community again. And so I felt that it was better to keep delaying and then to just stop talking about it altogether than to start and stop and start and stop.
Yes. So, get it in your hands first.
That's right. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. I have a website set up and
sweet.
Yeah. So, and I'm still getting my studio. I've got a couple of several pieces of equipment to still install and get up, but I'm nearly ready and I'm very excited about it. And I think people will be surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you're doing a podcast.
Any travel plans for you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I don't go anywhere. I don't go anywhere. Oh, we have a poll. I forgot about the poll in the chat room. All right, it's a stupid poll. I'm just going to hit end. You guys did all right. All right. I had pick the 4 people you would think in order of importance to ufology.
Do we get it? What is it? I can't see it.
No, I said, pick the order you think these 4 people rank in importance to the UFO narrative. So I had Knapp first, Lue next, Corbell, and then Rose Cuckold, I call. And then that was at 49%. And then next in line was Lue, then Corbell, then Knapp, and then that's the one I think. You lose first and then Corbell, I think. But I don't know. Corbell's given out more UFOs than Lue and has done more for the community than Lue.
I bet he gets his information, a lot of it, from Lue.
I think he gets it from Knapp's connections. In the
Possibly.
That's what I really think.
That's 2 heads of the same snake.
I don't know. Are they friends with each other, Corbell and those guys?
Who knows?
And Lue?
What are friends in intelligence?
Well, that's true. How can they be?
Friends, assets, sources, handlers. I mean, we could call them all kinds of things. Friends are probably not. That's probably not the right word. You and I are more friends than I bet most of those gentlemen. So.
Yeah, Overlander BC says, I screen recorded Knapp proclaiming he doesn't even believe in aliens. Yeah, I couldn't believe he said that. He said that on that, I don't know, a TV interview. Couldn't believe it. He doesn't even believe in aliens yet. He's the guy who held on to the aliens crashing in the backyard in Las Vegas last year for a month.
That was his crux, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. I'm hoping, speaking of doing a little traveling, later this summer, I am going to be going out to Utah and perhaps Oregon, doing a little road trip. I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm sure that I'll have some material that I'll be able to present in the podcast for it. And, I don't know, later this year, in a few months, I'd love to go to London or rugby.
Oh my
I think
God.
that would, right? Incredible. So there are a lot of people over there that I would like to connect with. And so just a shout out.
Totally
So,
would love to go there. There's like
Yeah.
3 people I know for sure I'd have to go meet.
yeah, right. So
I would even go see Alien Addict. Yeah, I would even go over there.
I would love to see. Well, you're talking about Ollie, right? Not Nick?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
all
Nick-
those guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They're not bad people.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that any of us in this field are bad people. I think that we are being duped and played, and that there's a cover up, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of what that is. And I think that also we could be dealing with some kind of artificial or non-human intelligence of some sort that is also preventing and obscuring. And, I'm just trying to rule it all out. Everything's on the table for me right now. Everything.
And then AI in the next few years.
Exactly. Mhm.
Oh my God, it's going to be. And then we don't have quantum computing yet, right?
Yes, we do. Yes.
Wait, is that it? Wait, is there any other type? What else is there?
I mean, they have a quantum chip now. The more Majorana or Majorana.
Wait, you mean it's not a theory anymore? It's a
No,
fact.
it's not a theory.
I need to go listen to what's his name, Kurt Jamungle.
Yeah.
He does a lot of
he's
good
great.
shows like that. Yeah,
he
he's a pretty good
does.
guy.
He does. He really, I love the way he has taken his search. I think it's, the better, but
Yeah.
being, prior intel, I smell something very deceptive, and I don't think I can stop until I understand what that is, while also doing my consciousness and spirituality search for understanding of that as well. So,
Oh my God, that's got to be like so hard. Like you got all this negativity, and then you want to go over to the positive side and do your thing, and it's like what a battle it is.
well, unveiling the truth, I think is part of our spiritual battle. Our spiritual growth is becoming more discerning and recognizing that we're being lied to and that the nature of reality is nothing like what we're experiencing.
We are in a place where visually we're screwed because we can't tell what what a legitimate one's going to look like anymore. Everything out there is just crazy. Things that are flying around, these drones, they make them look like anything now. They got that sphere, the Buga sphere, which I think is a hoax.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely looks like a hoax to me because the video evidence is suspect, the way it was edited and everything just disappeared and the guy's aiming the camera down and it looks like time went by. Anyway, that's another story. But they're bringing in all of these things that we can't debunk.
Right.
Like, stories don't make sense. There's no follow-up really to, like, the Bugosphere hasn't flown since. Why?
Right.
Oh, because they ruined it when they hit it with the radar or whatever they hit it with,
Right.
they said. Stupid. It's so stupid. I'm embarrassed that they think that that type of technology would be duped by something so ancient to them. To them, I think. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe they didn't have a Marconi where they came from. Oh, Anjali's gone. All right. Well, that's it. I think she had to go. I don't know what happened. Oh, there she is. She's coming back. Yeah, I told you she was going to do that. No, I'm kidding. I know you were there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. That was weird.
Yes, but it is time to go.
Yes, it is. So
it was timing. Even if you left like that, it would have been a perfect ending. Well, thanks. Yeah, this was great. You got to come on again.
I would love to. Absolutely.
We'll do part 2 and
maybe we can collaborate on some things. I would really like that.
Yes, but I also want to talk to you about media and things like that. I know it's not really that hard to figure out, fake news, but I want to get into certain people in the field, and especially Christopher Bledsoe next time.
Sure. Okay.
So I'm excited to see what you're doing, and we're going to keep everybody in tune. Wait, now, you just have now your X account and anything else you want to share?
Nope, not yet. I don't want to share anything yet.
Okay.
Not until I'm ready to kick off.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling. That's why I was...
Yeah, thank you for asking. I know you've previewed some things, but it's still a work in progress, and I'm moving. I'm moving it as fast as I can. So, just want to bring good content, so useful.
And people are excited that you're doing well and everything health wise. So
yeah, me too.
Might as well get all this figured out. I mean, that's what I do when I feel good. I work my ass off.
Yeah,
so,
I'm a workaholic when I feel good.
But thank you. I mean, this was really it went by so fast. I couldn't believe it was after 9 already. So thanks again. Yeah, and I'll talk to you soon.
Very much. All right.
Thanks, Anjali.
See you later,
Anjali. Everybody, Anjali.
Bye.
Anjali.
Peace out.
Peace out. Wow, that went by so fast. That's not even humanly possible. I felt like we just started. My energy's high. I'm high. No, I'm not. Actually, that's probably why I'm not really. No, that's not true. I smoked, but it was an hour before the show, so I'm probably on a good. But a lot of interesting things, a lot of the same thought process on what many of us are now seeing, what could be a disinfo campaign by Lue and others. Very strange time we're in. It's weird, but all right, that's it. I gotta go, and tomorrow is Friday. I think there'll be a show. I'm not sure, but Rich Saves America is definitely going to be going. And hopefully GUFON tomorrow night. Thank you, moderators, super chatters, newcomers, and veterans. Thank you for making tonight enjoyable in that chat room and helping out with the poll there. So that's it. All right. Hey, if you ain't looking up, you ain't looking out for ufology. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Come on, people. Throw your hat in the ring. Do some research. Figure shit out. I don't know what to say. If you got any evidence, you found anything good, send it over to goofonradio@gmail.com. All right? All right. Alien bless. Take that and have a good night.
There's a good thing. It's rotating. Oh,